1, 2, 3, 4. Hello friends, and welcome back to Swiftlessons for a follow-up on my lesson breaking down how to play a jazz blues 12-bar progression. In this tutorial, we're going to be learning to embellish that progression, adding in some useful licks, passing chords, and other embellishments. So I got a full tab for you at patreon.com/swiftlessons. You can support the channel there, gain access to a ton of extra resources for all my popular YouTube guitar lessons. Now, let's get started. Okay, close look at the fretboard, getting started breaking down this solo jazz guitar routine. Getting started with measure number 1, we're gonna have the chord A7 add 13. Now for this routine, I'm not going to be breaking down all the chord shapes. I've already done a lesson on that. You can just click that card right up there in the top corner to access it. Okay, so the A7 add 13, we're going to play the bass note first, then we're gonna play the highs twice. One short, then long. Using my hand here, activating, kind of a squeeze to get it to shorten, then the second stroke will be long. Okay, so bass, high, high, or if I want to use the pick, I could do that as well. Okay, with a brushy kind of downstroke. All right, then moving on to measure number 2, it sounds like this. Okay, so that was 0, 5, a little upstroke on the B string and G string. All right, then I'm gonna go back to the bass, and then I'm going to use my pick as I strum downward and extend my pinky to the 7th fret of the high E string. Okay, so. All right, then we're just gonna do an upstroke with the pick back on the D9 chord. Okay, so the pinky has now been removed. All right, so that's 2 measures of music right there. We've got the A7 chord, the D9. All right, then I'm gonna go back to the A7 chord, and for this measure, we're gonna really dress it up with a lick. We're going to play. Then descend back down to the 4 chord again. Okay, so breaking down this very nice lick over the 1 chord, A7 add 13, you start off taking that chord and playing it nice and short. The first measure we have. Okay, so that was 5 to 6 on the G string with a hammer, then 5-7 on the B, the 5th fret of the high E string, then descend down the minor pentatonic scale, B string, 8 to 5, and then 7th fret of the G string. Put all that together and we've got real slow. All right, then moving on to the next measure, we're gonna do that hammer on again on the G string, 5 to 6, D string 7, and then we're gonna do a double stop, 7 and 7, on the G string and B string. Starting that measure again. All right, then we're gonna repeat the hammer again. 7th fret of the D string, we're gonna start walking down the scale again. Down to 5. Then here's where we're gonna throw in an oddball note. All right, that flat 5, the 6th fret of the A string before. Going down to the D9 chord, where I'm gonna play bass, strum, strum. Of course, I could also use my fingers. Okay, again, 1 short, 1 long. Okay, you put those 2 measures of music together and we've got. Okay, very good everybody. If you're following along using my tablature at patreon.com/swiftlessons, then you can see that we have just completed the first line of that tab. Let's put it all together now at a slow tempo before moving on. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. Okay, now let's move on to finishing up line number 2. Okay, finishing up line number 2. Again, it started off with that D9 chord. Okay, bass, short, long. Now, going into the next measure, this is a lick that I'm very excited to break down because it's a lick that's going to respond to the next chord, a passing chord that takes you back to the one chord, which is called D sharp diminished or a D sharp full diminished. You could also call it a D sharp diminished seventh chord. All right, so this chord, we've got the 6th fret of the A string, 7th fret of the D string, 5th fret of the G string, and 7th fret of the B string. I want to break down this chord for you because the lick that we're playing isn't using traditional scales like the blues scale, for instance. Instead, it's going to be responding to the chord, actually outlining the chord in kind of an arpeggio fashion. Okay, so we're going to give this chord a nice short strum, then we're going to play to get us back to the one chord. Okay, so that lick, we have 5 to 6 on the A string, then we're going to play the 4th fret of the D, extend up to 7, then we're going to play the 5th fret of the G string and slide down a half step to 4. So far you have. Alright, then back to the D string, 7th fret, 4th fret, 7th fret. Alright, that's that full lick right there. And then go back to the bass note of the A7 add 13 chord to prepare for the next measure. Okay, so let's put measures 5 and 6 of this 12 bar together now. I'm going to play it at a nice slow tempo because this is going to require a little bit of practice. Okay, so starting with that D9 chord. Alright, then that'll set up the next measure where we're going to play the A7 add 13, we have the bass, and then we're going to do the highs. I'm going to use my hybrid picking here. Alright, then I'm going to go to kind of an interesting voicing. Alright, this very intense chord shape where we're fretting down the 8th fret of the D string, 9th fret of the G, and the 10th fret of the B string. Okay, so we have the A7 add 13. We're using this as a passing chord to get to the chord C sharp minor 7, where we're just going to play a downstroke. Okay, so far you have, starting from measure number 7 there. Alright, then that'll get us to the chord F sharp 7 flat 9. Okay, this is a really weird chord, and I will give it to you just real quick. 9th fret of the A, 8th fret of the D, 9th fret of the G, and then we have 8th fret of the B string. Okay, so really bizarre but cool sound that leads you back to the 2 chord. Okay, descending down to the 2 chord to get to line number 3. Okay, so all of line number 2 should sound like this. Diminish. Alright, now setting up the next measure of music and line number 3. Okay, getting started with line number 3. First, a demonstration real slow, starting with that B minor 7 chord. Alright, to finish up the 12 bar. Okay, so that was very simple. We started off with the B minor 7 chord, playing the root note, then an upstroke. Next, we're going to walk up. 4, 5, 6, 7 on the A string. Then we're going to set up the E7 chord shape. Okay, so I'm just playing this very common 7th chord shape. Alright, that was the 7th fret of the A string, 6th fret on the D, 7th fret of the G, and 5th fret of the B string with my index finger. So far you have walk. Alright, the bass, then the highs. Then we're going to start descending down. 5th fret, 4th fret, 7th fret to complete that measure. Okay, so the B minor 7 to the E7. Alright, that's going to set up the turnaround now. We're getting started on A7, measure number 11, the bass, followed by the highs, Then we're just going to do single strums. The F sharp 7 flat 9. The B minor 7 followed by E augmented. Another really weird chord. 7th fret, 6th fret, 5th fret, 5th fret. Let that hang before going back to the 1 chord to resolve. Okay, playing all of line number 3, it should sound like this. The B minor 7, walk. E7, walk. The 1 chord, F sharp, B minor 7, E augmented, resolve. Okay, very good everybody. Lines 1, 2, and 3 are complete. Now we're going to put the entire thing together, playing through that 12-bar blues at a nice slow tempo. 1, 2, 3, A7, D9, lick, D9, diminish, turn around, resolve. Alright friends, thanks so much for checking out this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed these jazzy licks and phrases. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. As always, big thanks to my supporters at patreon.com/swiftlessons. Hope you're enjoying all those extra resources. And thanks to you guys, I got many more lessons coming up. So keep checking in, please subscribe, please share. This is Rob at Swift Guitar Lessons in Philadelphia, saying happy picking.